Trending closer to home, people living in western Nova Scotia and southern New Brunswick are being warned to prepare for power outages and flooding as Hurricane Lee is expected to become a powerful post-tropical storm when it hits the region this weekend. The Canadian Hurricane Center has repeatedly stressed that even though Lee is expected to decrease in strength from a Category 1, it will remain a threat. Manisa Donabalan joining us live from the newsroom with the latest on this. Manisa.
Hey Matt, authorities in New Brunswick and P.E.I. held media briefings today asking locals to prepare ahead of the storm, and Environment Canada issued hurricane watches for several areas in the region. Hurricane Lee, which at some point was a Category 5 storm, is now a Category 1 hurricane, 430 kilometers southwest of Bermuda, churning out sustained winds at 155 kilometers per hour. By the time it makes landfall in Nova Scotia on Saturday, it's expected to become a powerful post-tropical storm.
And in terms of intensity, nothing like we saw with Fiona last year, given its angle of approach, where the area that it actually hit. So all those things are quite different. The biggest difference is the intensity at the storm's arrival. Really, this storm has a lot of cold water to travel over by the time it gets here.
But the Canadian Hurricane Center says the post-tropical storm is still expected to be strong. The center says Lee's track could take the storm through an area anywhere between New Brunswick's Grand Mountain Island and Nova Scotia's Shelburne County Saturday night. Environment Canada says hurricane-strength winds could gust as high as 120 kilometers per hour in some southwestern Nova Scotia counties and New Brunswick regions.
The official forecast here up towards Nova Scotia goes a little farther to the west, up towards the coast of Maine, or a little farther to the east. There's going to be impacts well away from the center, especially on the west side in terms of wind, heavy rainfall, and obviously the dangerous surf and rip current conditions that we're going to see.
Residents of Nova Scotia's Atlantic coast and those living near the Bay of Fundy in New Brunswick are also being warned that significantly higher water levels could lead to localized flooding and dangerous surf.
And they've had some really tough experiences already this year throughout those areas, with a lot of wildfires early in the year and then subsequent flooding. So I think I'm personally a little bit concerned that we could see some rain in some areas. Up to 100 millimeters of rain is going to cause flooding.
Officials in New Brunswick are asking residents to plan ahead.
Take some time to clean up your property. We could see gusts up to 100 kilometers per hour. That can turn tools, lawn furniture, other objects into dangerous projectiles. Another easy task is to make sure that your catch basins and gutters are clear and will guide water away from your home appropriately. If you have skills to do so, cut down dead tree branches that might fall during the storm and damage vehicles or your home.
Those in Prince Edward Island are also preparing for the storm.
The best way to prepare is for you to think about how storms or emergencies affect you and your family. Helpful questions that you can ask yourself include: what happens if power goes out? Do I have a loved one that could use help? Am I prepared for heavy rain? Do I have an emergency kit that could come in use? If you cannot answer these questions, set aside some time to discuss this with your household.
The storm is expected to pass over late Saturday, last throughout Sunday, and start affecting areas west of Newfoundland throughout Monday.